We're just living paycheck to paycheck.
I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I think my lovely wife could perhaps use a little more discipline.
Oh my God!
I feel like I'm being accused.
Almost $1,300
How did that happen?
every month in cash.
It's like the snowball rolling down the hill, and it's just getting bigger and bigger.
We gotta get the debt paid off.
You don't know any of this stuff.
Money, 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 money.
My name's Greg. I'm a sports writer. I have a lovely wife, Lori, and two beautiful daughters, Charlotte and Ella.
I am usually a network administrator. Right now, though, I'm on maternity leave for a year. Yay.
I feel my wife's spending habits need some work.
This is Ella's room, and I probably spent a lot of money in here.
I pack my lunch for work. I try to avoid going out and spending $10 on lunch each day.
Debit? Yeah. This is my gym membership that I don't use.
I put a lot of money towards my squash membership, so that's kind of my vice, I guess. It improves my well-being, it keeps me fit.
We just took money from the line of credit.
I want this debt gonzo.
It scares him because he knows we have debt.
We kind of have a chores list. On Lori's chores list, taking care of the finances.
You're not seeing the big picture.
Right, I can see your
See what I'm
frustration
saying?
there, yes.
I'd say that is a big stress for me. I feel like it's all in my court, which is a big weight on my shoulders. It'd be nice if you had an interest in it as well.
We need Gail's advice on a lot of different things.
Okay, we need help. How do we get it? It's so hard to figure out where to go.
This month, I'll help this couple move from red to black. I've been solving money problems for over 20 years, tackling everything from high finance to low income. I help people understand money and debt, which is still a huge mystery for most folks. And it's the #1 reason couples split up. So now I'm making house calls. In just 4 years of marriage, Lori and Greg have racked up $55,000 in debt, and they use their line of credit like disposable income. Financially, they're completely unprepared for their 2-week-old baby. And Lori is cracking under the strain of trying to deal with their finances all by herself. These two have issues that won't go away until they face up to them.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
If you don't mind, I'd like to just drop my bag and have a quick look around.
Sure, sounds
Great.
good.
This is a house with children. The best appliances.
I wonder what she's gonna find upstairs.
Let's check Ella's. Cute. I don't know that this is expensive furniture, but they've done a nice job with it. I'm looking for where all that money's going. Some of it's in here. I went through 6 months worth of your finances, and here's what I saw. You're racking up debt to the tune of $5,000 a year since you got married.
Sounds about right.
Your frustration level is humongous.
I feel stressed out about it. I feel like the whole burden's on me.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm being blamed. And there's a lot of pressure on me to get everything paid off.
Make this right.
Yeah.
If you let the resentment continue to grow, it will destroy you. Is it as simple as the fact that you did not know until recently how frustrated she was?
She has expressed her frustration at how she has to do it. I do laundry and some other things, and she does finances and some other things, and you know, it's just kind of how it fell
Can you
together.
see how the responsibility of doing finances might be just a tad more weighty than the responsibility of doing laundry? This is very solvable. All we need to do now is go over the details so I can shock and horrify you. Which I will. So stuff is all the stuff I couldn't put in a category. Online. Who likes to shop online?
Me.
Is it saloning or tanning you're doing?
saloning.
Okay.
Yes.
Hardware store? That's probably you too, right? Not. The kids store? This wouldn't be what Greg is panicked over, is it?
No.
No. Almost $270 in the kids store every single month.
Wow.
So you're spending
$1,077, almost $1,100 every month on what I like to refer to as miscellaneous consumption. Who likes to spend cash in this house?
Oh, sure, I like spending cash. I
Okay,
like throwing the card down, whatever's going.
Oh my God! Almost $1,300 every month in cash. Gee, Lori, you're spending a lot in kids' stores, but you know what? You're not spending anywhere near $1,300 every month.
What is that on?
Good question. And that's the thing about cash is I have no idea where that money went because it's just debits out of the account. Greg is blind to his mistakes when it comes to spending cash, and Lori's been taking the blame. But Greg is actually spending 4 times what Lori is.
I was a little shocked at how much we spend each month, and in some cases, how much money we're throwing away.
Right now, Lori and Greg are spending 67% of their income on life. Everything from food to clothing to entertainment. That's way more than the 25% I recommend. Their spending spree on miscellaneous consumption and Greg's silent but deadly cash grab has got to stop. According to what you thought you were spending about $1,000 a month less than you made. When I posted the numbers, you're spending over $10,000 a month. You're actually spending $3,300 a month more than you make.
Wow.
Keep this up, and in 5 years, you're going to be $580,000 in debt.
That is, wow. I was definitely shocked, but I knew we had a problem.
I need your commitment that you're going to do what I ask you to do in order to take you from red to black.
Absolutely.
Do I have your promise?
Yes, you do.
If you accomplish what I want you to accomplish over the next 4 weeks, I'll give you up to $5,000. First, we have to get with the reality of your reduced income while you're on mat leave. We have to deal with the feelings that you're experiencing as you come to terms with what's happening financially in your lives between the two of you, and we've got to get that debt paid off. I guess the very next thing you have to do for me is go get me your cards, because I need your debit cards and your credit cards. Coming up, which luxury items will have to go?
Money, money, money. Money, 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 money.
Between them, Lori and Greg make $100,000 a year and feel like they can spend whatever they want.
It just seemed like we needed to spend more money on more things.
Their 4-year spending spree has set them back $55,000.
We just needed more stuff.
They have a young family, but never took the time to figure out what it would cost before their second baby arrived.
Being on maternity leave for a year cuts my paycheck in about half.
Now they have to face the consequences of how they've been spending their money. For the next month, this couple will learn to live on a strict cash budget. No more credit cards. They'll complete weekly challenges to tackle their money and relationship issues. And if they're willing to change, I'll reward them with thousands of dollars. No changes, no money. Give me the credit cards. And the debit cards. Now that you don't have these anymore, plastic's gone, you have to learn to live on cash. Thing is, you were spending way too much. So one of the things I've done is I have cut your variable expenses by 50%. You will also have the budget binder. That way you're tracking everything. You're gonna have $125 for transportation. You'll have $250 for food. You'll have $27.50 for clothing. Go ahead, do some damage with that. You will have $62.50 for entertainment. And you'll have $62.50 for other.
It's a bit of a wake-up call. We really have to step up here and, do something drastic and make some big changes.
We're in the baby's room because your first challenge has to do with the fact that you're on maternity leave.
Okay.
I have for you here a chart which shows my budget for you and has space for you to figure out what your mat leave budget is going to be. See how much money I gave you for club fees?
Not very much.
So this budget balances. You have to make your maternity budget balance. and I want to see this next week, and you have to work on it together.
Right.
So in some ways, this is a good opportunity for Greg to get with the program in terms of what it costs to run this house.
I think the challenge is going to be very difficult.
It's a lot to take in in one day.
While Lori's on maternity leave, their income's reduced by $1,400 a month. For the time being, some luxuries will have to go.
We could probably go to basic.
Trim the fat on our shopping. My gym membership / squash club membership is $110 a month.
In a month or two, I want to start swimming again.
Trimming the fat isn't as easy as it sounds.
What's our goal?
1,400, so we're
1,400, so just over halfway.
So what was it like living on cash for your first week?
I thought it was good. We actually thought about what we were spending.
Novel concept.
I know. It wasn't like, oh, here's the debit card. We have money. It's fine. We really thought about it.
It's a big change, and it was good.
Yeah? Really?
Oh, yeah.
Still enthusiastic?
Still pumped. Just as pumped as before.
Still pumped.
Even more pumped.
Were you pumped while you were doing the budget trim?
Oh, the budget trim.
It was hard.
So where were your biggest cuts?
I think they weren't necessarily the biggest, but some of the things we really thought about was like the cable and the telephone and the internet.
Yes.
I mean, do we really need 75, 80 channels on the tube?
No.
I think we can make do with 20 or 25.
Yeah. Greg's getting a bit more involved now, but I still think he has a little ways to go with his involvement.
You must have had a debate about your sports activities.
Yes, we did.
What did you decide to do?
Well, we're gonna keep. I'm gonna keep playing squash, and Lori's planning to swim.
Right.
It's
I'm going
both,
to cancel my gym membership that I'm not using.
Okay.
I want to swim. That's
Okay.
more important to me.
Right.
So we
So we're
both
gonna
really
keep
wanted
that.
to keep that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you actually decide to do on the debt repayment?
Well, at first, we really wanted to keep it the amount that you had suggested.
Right.
But it was really hard to get rid of other things.
Right.
I had noticed this was 15% of our net income.
Yes.
So what we ended up doing was 15% of our new net
Okay.
income and for the year.
What a smart girl you are. Lori's right. A maximum of 15% of your net income should go towards debt repayment. So if you thought the challenge you had to do last week was hard, wait till you hear what I have for you this week. Your future plan challenge, which I like to call And Baby Makes 4.
Okay.
You had 2 children together, and I don't have a sense that you were really planning the budget aspect of this. Most people don't. But what you need to do now is you need to start looking at the impact of that in terms of your ongoing costs, okay? So Greg, this week what you're gonna do is you and Lori are gonna sit down and you're gonna make a list of what the kids are gonna need over the next 6 months. And then you're gonna go out with the kids and you're gonna price it all so you can anticipate what your costs are gonna be. Lori, yours is even harder. You may have to decide to go back to work early.
No.
Exactly. It's not what you want to do, but that's the decision I'm going to ask you to look at this week.
Okay. I guess my biggest fear is that I will discover that it doesn't make sense for me to be off work for a year and I need to go back early.
Coming up, Lori faces a tough decision.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Lori and Greg were miles apart when it came to figuring out where the money was going. You're racking up debt to the tune of $5,000 a year since you got married. Now a total debt of $55,000 has them paying attention.
We might be back in this mess again in 2 weeks.
This week, I've challenged them to start communicating and plan for their daughters' futures. If they can complete all of my challenges successfully, I'll reward them with up to $5,000 to help them pay down their debt.
Okay, you sit and do your stickers. Mommy works on my maternity leave budget, so I can figure out if I can stay home with you or not. I'm shocked to find out if I put the 2 kids in daycare 3 days a week, it's $780 a month, which is a lot of money. Even with the extra expenses, I make an additional $400 a month. So, I mean, it is worth it definitely for me to go back to work.
Lori's faced up to the harsh reality of her budget. Now it's Greg's turn to deal with the reality of 2 kids. Will they be able to cut corners so Lori can stay home?
Yeah, you would sit in here. Oh, wow. Come check this one out, Ella. solid price, and hey, for spending 60 instead of 150 or 200, that's what we're looking for. You know, with a $200 car seat, then, you know, we're looking at spending $33 a month over the next 6 months. Things like swimming lessons for Ella. There are the Mommy and Me classes that you want to take with Charlotte, both in the $65 to $80 flat range.
Before their kids were born, Laurie and Greg used to spend a lot of time socializing in bars. While Greg's out of town, Laurie and I will have a girls' afternoon out. Did you learn anything interesting this week?
I could see how much money we would lose if I don't go back to work early, but
Right.
I have decided that I'm going to still stay.
Take your full maternity?
Yes, because I think that you only have that year in your child's life once, and that's
that and
more
the fact
important.
that when you stick them both in daycare.
Yes, and that was shocking too.
You had no idea,
No,
did you?
I actually had to calculate that twice.
Because of the level of care required, you pay more for an infant in daycare than you do for a 3-year-old. If you have more than one child in the same daycare, you can expect a small discount. But don't expect to pay much less than $1,400 a month if you're in Laurie and Greg's income bracket. No wonder mothers often stay home with 2 kids till they can pack them off to school. Did your handsome husband do his job?
He did.
He did.
Oh.
Hello, Gail. I'm on the road right now, on my way to the airport, but I thought I'd bring you up to speed on the challenge you gave me last week. I thought it was a good process in that normally, you know, Laurie just says to me, Greg, we need this baby seat for Ella, and we're like, okay, get the debit card out, and away we go. Now it's a little different, and we know how much we're going to be spending over the next 6 months, and we're going to save and budget for it, instead of just whipping out the cards.
What did you think?
I thought, hallelujah. He's getting it.
So this week, your challenge is the Relationship Rescue Challenge. And the reason why we're sitting in a bar is because you and Greg used to have quite a fine time together.
Yes, we did.
Then you had 2 kids. I want you to put the kids to bed. I want you to be responsible for the food. Greg's job is atmosphere. And I want you guys to sit down and talk about one thing you'd like the other person to change.
I don't know what he's going to want changed about me, but I'm sure there's something.
Coming up, will Laurie and Greg's relationship stand up to a dose of brutal honesty?
You're pretty zoned into the TV from 8 to 11 at night.
But in all fairness, there is a lot of breastfeeding going on during that time.
Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
For the past 5 years, Laurie and Greg have been on the fast track to debt overload.
We need to get rid of this debt. Priority 1.
Greg's the major breadwinner while Laurie's on maternity leave, and he felt entitled to spend whatever he wanted, leaving Laurie to sort out the bills.
It's just a huge weight on my shoulders.
I've challenged Greg and Laurie to be honest with each other.
Doing this was the big thing, I think, between us that we needed to change, was talking about our finances and doing it together. This is nice. I remember the last time we did this.
It's been a little while, eh?
I didn't feel beforehand like you had much to do with our finances, and now going through this process, you've taken more of an interest. So I just want you to keep with the program, even after Gail goes. Okay, so it's your turn now.
Well, I really had a hard time coming up with something. Maybe we could be doing this a lot more, like kind of just sitting down. But it'd be nice to just, I find we don't have enough quality time in the evening that isn't focused on the TV. It could be something as simple as playing cards together. It's the only thing. It took a long time for me to think about that.
Cheers.
Salud.
Did you end up surprised at what Greg wanted? That he wanted more romance? That he wanted you to spend more time with him?
We've needed to do that for a while. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys did well this month. You learned to participate in the finances, plan ahead, so you don't end up whipping up your credit card to spend money you don't actually have yet. And Laurie, you learned that you can make a decision about your maternity leave. And both of you learned you can't spend money you don't have yet because that digs you into a hole that you'll never get out of. We have set aside $1,000 in your budget for debt repayment. And if you follow that plan, you will be completely consumer debt-free in 5 years. We've also set aside almost $600 a month in your budget for savings. And if you do that for 35 years, at the end of that, you will have $900,000 saved.
That'd be pretty nice.
Sounds pretty sweet.
Could you stand to be almost millionaires?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I'm going to make you even happier. I have for you a check for $5,000 to help pay down your debt.
Yes, that makes me very happy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I've arranged for you guys to go away for a weekend up north. You'll be minutes away from your mums, so you can drop the girls off, and you know they're not far away if you need to get to them.
My mom will love that.
And you guys can spend the weekend just enjoying each other and having that romance just sort of re-infuse your life so you have something to build on when you get back.
Sounds great.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
A month ago, I'd say you're crazy if we'd be able to save that much and put that much towards debt repayment, but we can do it.
This month has been such a great experience for us. I think it's going to change our lives and the way how we look at our finances. And just that alone is amazing.